Hi there, just going to talk about Venezuela today, or more specifically, the Bolivar, which was their currency. Venezuela went on the silver standard in 1879, which is when the Bolivar was introduced, and this currency lasted until the 31st of December 2007. Now, one Bolivar equaled 4.5 grams of fine silver. Most of the coins were 90% silver, so typically a Bolivar would weigh about 5 grams. I mean, here is a, don't know if you can see that, if it will focus, no? There's a Bolivar. Well, that's actually 5 Bolivars, and this is 22.5 grams of silver. Yeah, if you can see that, there we go. Now, that in today's money is worth about maybe 11, 12 pounds, and that's minimum. You know, you're looking at, you know, sort of 15 pounds at least if you were to sell that. But you know, that's how it was. Anyway, they had the currency was made up of the small change would be centimos, and there'd be 100 centimos in a Bolivar, and these coins were copper and nickel, and they were in the denominations of 5 and 12 and a half. I've got quite a few stamps from Venezuela, so you can see, you know, roughly what. I mean, these stamps are from 1900 to 1940. I don't know exactly how old they are. We'll show you those. The other coins that they had were mostly silver, so you had a fifth of a Bolivar, a quarter, a half, a 1 Bolivar, a 2, and a 5 Bolivar, which was that one. And they also had 2 gold coins, a 20 Bolivar coin and a 100 Bolivar gold coin. Now, a 100 Bolivar gold coin was 32.25 grams, which was 90% gold, so that would be a pure gold content of 29.03 grams. So basically 100 Bolivars was 29 grams of gold, or put another way, was 450 grams of pure silver. And so basically you've got a ratio of 15.5 to 1 gold to silver, which I think is quite really low. It shows you just how much they valued silver back in those days, because the ratio today between gold and silver is about 94 to 1. It's been over 100 to 1. It's such a bargain. Anyway, Venezuela went off the silver standard in 1910, and it went on to the gold standard, and it did that until 1930. And they went off the gold standard, and they went on a fixed exchange rate against the US dollar, and they went on there at a rate of 1 Bolivar equaled 3.914 Bolivars. And don't forget, I mean, it was a good idea at the time, you could imagine, because America was on the gold standard, so if you fixed your currency against the dollar, it'd be quite an easy way of, you know, maintaining your currency at a set rate. It was revalued at a price of 3.18 Bolivars to $1 in 1937, and that rate stayed the same until 1941. But something went pretty horribly wrong, as by 2003 it was 1,600 Bolivars equaled $1, and it was getting worse, much worse. I mean, I conclude that basically Venezuela got rid of its silver coins between 1965 and 1967, and they used copper and nickel instead. You know, they should have stayed on the silver standard, I think. But in any case, they were doing something badly wrong, and obviously the currency completely collapsed. And basically at the very start of 2008, a new currency called the Bolivar Fuerte was introduced, which meant in Spanish, strong Bolivar. Now 1,000 of the old Bolivars equaled the one new Bolivar, which is the Bolivar Fuerte. And now this currency lasted about 10 years until August of 2018. You know, it started off okay. You know, I mean, you look at, I think it was in January 2011, it was 4.3 Bolivar Fuertes equaled $1. By 2 years later, it was 6 Bolivar Fuertes. You know, 2016, it was 10 Bolivars equaled $1. We can see where this is going. You know, and in February 2018, $1 was worth 25,000 Bolivar Fuertes, and by August of the same year, 248,000 Bolivar Fuertes were needed to get $1. And obviously, they started again and they created a new currency, and this time they called it the Bolivar Soberano. And it took 100,000 of the old Bolivar Fuertes to equal one of the new Bolivar Sobranos. So on release, it was about 60 Bolivar Sobranos equaled $1. And today, as I looked at it this morning, it was about 216,000 Bolivar Sobranos equaled $1. Incredible. Basically, the people who have been using that currency have been robbed big time. You know? But I'm holding this here. I mean, this little coin here should be worth not even 1,000th of a penny, because it's 5 Bolivars, the old Bolivars. Not even 1,000th of a penny. But because it's made out of silver, it still maintains its value. It's still worth something today. You know? But we'll see what happens to Venezuela. I mean, apparently they are using some kind of cryptocurrency now based on the petrodollar. I don't exactly know much about that yet, but we'll see what happens. But this is it's a powerful lesson as to what can happen to your money eventually. And it's not too much. Well, it is a little bit different here in the UK, of course, but the same thing's happening, but in a much slower rate. So yeah. Anyway, take care. All for now.